You're listening to our TAM World. Welcome to our Micronotices new podcasts. I'm Joshua Bigossip, and I will keep you informed of micronation news every week. This program is carried out in collaboration with our partner, Microcosme.in. So, right away, the titles we're going to cover in this podcast. Prince Freï of Lorenzburg invited to TEdx before appearing at the theatre in November. MicroCon and MES for 2025, are they competing or complementary summits? I will answer you. Dominic Desaintes, re-elected as head of Microfrancophony. He is now beginning his second term. And finally, in Aigues-Mortes, a new Chancellor has just been approved by the Parliament of the Principality. Let's go to Scandinavia, where Prince Freï of the Principality of Lorenzburg was invited to speak about his micronation and his concept of artistic and liberating royalty at the TEdx Arena in Gothenburg, Sweden. Prince Freï's presentation was a tremendous success as he prepares to perform in a play titled The Prince and Machiavelli at the Castle in the centre of Gothenburg. This humorous comedy reflects the exercise of power both in the past and present. Prince Freï will be on stage alongside Saga Björklund Jonsson for 6 dates throughout November. If you are in the area, you can book your tickets on the site Fursten SE. The season of micronational summits is already gearing up for 2025, with reservations open for MES at Romke Hall in Europe and MicroCon in Montreal for North America. Social media tensions have highlighted the intensified summit offerings in Europe, which some in North America have perceived as competitive. However, discussions have allowed the two organizing boards to look to the future with greater calm, as the rising cost of living in Western countries is making transatlantic travel less accessible. Thus, there is no real competition, as each event has its dedicated audience. Another issue identified is the lack of regulation through a formal written agreement. Misunderstandings appear to stem from informally defined situations, as there hasn't previously been a strong need for formalization. But with the growth of micronational events in Europe and the wish to make MicroCon a truly global event rather than primarily North American, tensions have surfaced. A formal agreement may now be necessary to calm spirits and uphold the fraternal bond shared by all micronationalists. As for 2025 dates, the dice are cast. MES will take place from August 1st to August 3rd, and reservations are now open at micro-euro-summit.com. MicroCon, scheduled from June 26th to June 29th, launched its website this week, with reservations expected to open in the coming days. RTM World and Microcosm.info will be present at both events this year. Dominic Desaintes was re-elected as the head of the Microfrancophony last Sunday, securing 62% of the votes against his rival, Remy Le Prince Ringuet, who was running for the first time. Desaintes was elected on a platform primarily focused on reforming the statutes of the organization, which currently represents 26-member micronations across 3 continents. His program, titled A Clear Direction for the OMF, outlines these goals. Dominic Desaintes is also one of the organizers of MicroCon 2025, for which he has advocated for English-French bilingualism. He hopes this will attract more French-speaking participants to the micronational event, which has traditionally been English-only. Let's head to Aigues-Mortes now. The Principality's Parliament, known as the General Assembly, has just approved the new Chancellor, who will now be responsible for forming and leading Prince Jean-Pierre IV's new government. The Constitution prohibits political parties and grants direct democracy. For this reason, the Chancellor is selected by the Sovereign Prince, but must then be approved by the Parliament. This Parliament is made up of all citizens who have chosen to register for a term of 1 year. For the first time in the Principality's history, a woman has attained the highest governmental position, and her name is Madame Anne Masse. She was approved for her extensive experience in non-profit organisations where she is deeply committed. Madame Masse replaces Mr. Geoffrey Mathis, who held the position of Chancellor since 2019. He has now been approved for another key governmental role as Chairman of Parliament. His new mission will be to oversee the passage of the country's laws and to ensure the smooth conduct of citizen consultations as outlined in the Constitution. Anne Masse's term begins with an assessment of the local currency, aiming for a revival in 2025. Anne Masse also intends to strengthen Aigues-Mortes' involvement in charitable actions, with projects already underway to support children with illnesses, next year's Pink October initiative, and the sponsorship of orphaned children in Cambodia. Anne Mass is expected to be part of the Aigues-Mortes delegation attending MicroCon 2025 in Montreal. Micronotices has now concluded for this first edition. We hope you enjoyed watching this program. Leave us your impressions, ideas and comments, and subscribe for free to the RTAM channel to follow us in the RTAM World playlist. Don't forget to visit our partner microcosm.info to read amazing articles about the micro-national world. A dedicated article about Queen Anastasia of Ruritania has just been published. Goodbye and see you soon.